Hey guys, I'm fantasy author Kathryn Blanche, and today I want to give you guys a little sneak peek to my latest book, Infiltrated by Demons. In this book, Laila's encountering a series of murders that seem to be committed by the same vampire, but once she starts to investigate, she realizes that there may be more to this story than they originally thought there was. This book's being released May 31st and is currently available for pre-order, but there's also a release day event going on in San Luis Obispo at the Barnes & Noble bookstore. So feel free to stop by. I'm going to be there from 4 to 7 p.m. signing books and chatting with fans. So let's get on to this sneak peek, right? So I'm going to read to you a segment from the book. Don't worry, there are no spoilers in here for anyone who's behind on the series. So this is a scene between Laila and a new character, Jen, who has only been briefly mentioned in any of the previous books. Jen is one of the investigative team members. She's actually the team leader, and she and Laila go to interview a witness and encounter something rather unexpected hiding in the hills of Malibu. So here we go. Without further ado, I'm gonna start reading. Laila conjured a glowing orb of light that floated high above their heads, bathing the entryway in a pale white glow. Cobwebs clung to every surface and swirled as they passed like ghostly fingers beckoning to them. By a grand staircase rested a pile of black boxes, cables, and other equipment. Looks like film equipment. Jen examined the pile while Laila surveyed the room. There were multiple sets of footprints from someone loading and unloading the equipment. The dust on the stairs had also been scuffed away. "Hello," called Laila, her voice echoing through the house. "We're here with the Interrealm Security Agency. Is there anyone in the building?" For several beats of her heart, Laila listened. "Help me!" screamed a man from upstairs. Laila unholstered her magical stun baton and charged up the stairs, taking them two at a time. Close behind her was Jen as she reached the second floor of the hallway beyond. Goosebumps crawled along Laila's arms and her hair stood on end. Her instincts screamed at her that something was terribly wrong, but curiosity and duty drew her down the hall as she searched for the source of the scream. Laila entered the hallway and she saw a figure pressed against the wall halfway down. It was a man, trembling with fear. His eyes were wide and his hand was clamped over his mouth as if he were trying to muffle his breathing. Laila opened her mouth to speak, but he shook his head hastily, pointing to the open doorway beside him. She glanced from the human to the doorway and cautiously approached, dimming her light as she went. Behind her, Laila could hear Jen's quiet footsteps, but she mentioned for her to stay back. They had absolutely no idea what was in that room, but this human looked ready to soil his pants because of it. She reached the closest edge of the doorway and heard a rustling noise from within. The human across from her pressed further against the wall as she cautiously peered around the corner. The room was some sort of in-home theater with rows of large leather armchairs. Laila paused a moment to allow her eyes to adapt to the darkness. There was a sucking noise, but whatever was in there was obscured from view by the armchairs. Every fiber of her being cried out for her to run, but she had to know what was going on. She stepped through the threshold and into the theater, silent as a cat stalking its prey, and took the aisle along the right wall, the shield spell and baton still at the ready. The first row was empty, so was the second. But the sound was growing louder. As she reached the third row, she saw a woman sprawled on her back. Hunched over her was a figure so vile, so repulsive, so wrong, that the sight of it turned Laila's blood to ice. Its long, bony limbs poked out from a tattered black robe, like spindly legs of a giant spider. The skin was thick and crusted like a protective scab. Its hands and feet ended in 3-inch-long yellowed claws that glistened with fresh blood from where it had pinned the woman's shoulders down. The creature slowly lifted its head, revealing the most horrifying sight Laila had ever seen. The creature's face had been ripped away, revealing the bones of the skull beneath. Where eyes should have been was nothing but pits of endless darkness. "Odin's eye," whispered Laila, stepping back, but she bumped into the wall behind her. Faster than Laila could have imagined, the creature rose and rushed her, only stopping when it collided with the shield that Laila had conjured. Standing face to face with her, the creature opened its mouth and unleashed a piercing shriek. Laila felt her own face contort in a silent scream of terror. And that's all for now. If you want more of Laila of Midgard Book 3, Infiltrated by Demons, be sure to pre-order your copy. It's available online. I'll post those links below in the description. Or you can request it through your favorite local bookstore or library. So if you're in the area, I will see you Friday at the Barnes & Noble release event. If you can't make it to the event in person, I'm going to try to do a live stream, at least for part of the event. It will probably be either on YouTube or Instagram, maybe both. We will see. So you can enjoy the release event from the comfort of your own home on your own computer or mobile device. That's all for today, but I will see you guys very soon. Goodbye!